We welcome our viewers all over the world to our educational channel. Today, we explore what it means to advance one's civilization. Throughout history, no region or ethnic group needed permission to educate its people, preserve its language, or develop its society. You didn't need permission to speak your language. Neither should you need permission to develop your region. Although this discussion focuses on Nigeria, its message is universal. The principles of local responsibility, education, innovation, and community development apply to societies all over the world. The learning objectives are on your screen. First, understand why every Nigerian region has the responsibility to advance its own civilization rather than waiting for the federal government or other ethnic groups. Second, examine how strong communities, states, and institutions form the foundation of a prosperous Nigeria. Third, explore how Nigeria's diverse civilizations developed independently long before colonial rule and the lessons that history offers today. Finally, discover how education, innovation, entrepreneurship, and local leadership can strengthen every region and, together, build a stronger Nigeria. There is a historical truth that deserves to be understood. Some people speak as though God personally joined Nigeria together. We disagree with that notion. Nigeria was created by the royal palace in England through political decisions made by the British colonial administration, particularly the 1914 amalgamation of the northern and southern protectorates. While recognizing this, we must not let history imprison the future. Many successful nations were formed through treaties, wars, colonial boundaries, or political agreements. What matters is not merely how a nation began. What matters is what its people choose to build if they so desire. Whether Nigeria prospers depends not upon 1914, but upon what Nigerians choose to do now and in the future. Nigeria is a federation. The purpose of a federation is not to create permanent dependence upon the federal government. It is to allow different regions to govern themselves, develop according to their strengths, compete peacefully, cooperate where necessary, and contribute to the common good. Yet today, too many conversations begin with one question: what will the federal government do? Perhaps the better question is this: what are we doing ourselves? One of the greatest obstacles to Nigerian development is psychological dependence. Many Nigerians have become conditioned to believe that progress begins only after approval from the center. That mentality has cost us decades. And while everyone waits, time passes. History teaches something different. Successful societies solve local problems with local leadership. Waiting indefinitely for someone else to rescue you is rarely a successful development strategy. Ask yourself this: what did the historical founding figures of Nigeria's major civilizations have to do with one another? Probably very little. In Yoruba tradition, figures such as Oduduwa and Orunmila are remembered for laying the foundations of Yoruba civilization and for the well-being, wisdom, and advancement of the Yoruba people. Among the Igbo, communities developed through their own traditions, institutions, and ancestral lineages. In the Hausa states, rulers associated with the Bayajida tradition and later leaders built the foundations of the Hausa city-states. Each civilization primarily sought the flourishing of its own people. They did not wait for another civilization to prosper before advancing their own. The lesson remains relevant today. Every regional group has a responsibility to educate its children, strengthen its institutions, build its economy, and advance its own civilization. As each people succeeds, Nigeria becomes stronger and its contribution to humanity grows. Many centuries before colonial rule, craftsmen in the land of the Yoruba, in Oyo Empire, now in southwest Nigeria, and amongst the Benin people, now in Edo State, Nigeria, were creating magnificent bronze works, ivory carvings, and other masterpieces. They did not wait for permission from another people before advancing their civilization. They built, innovated, and created on their own initiative, centuries before many comparable artistic traditions emerged elsewhere in Europe. No region needs permission to advance. For generations, Nigerians have been conditioned to look toward Abuja whenever there is a problem in their community. If schools are failing, we look to Abuja. If hospitals are inadequate, we look to Abuja. This mindset has become so deeply rooted that many Nigerians have forgotten one of the oldest lessons of civilization. Civilizations are not built from the top down, they are built from the ground up. Throughout history, the world's greatest civilizations were built by families, communities, cities, universities, merchants, craftsmen, scientists, engineers, teachers, and local institutions long before powerful central governments emerged. That is the lesson Nigeria must rediscover. The people of Kano do not need permission to educate more children. The people of Lagos do not need permission to build more technology companies. The people of Anambra do not need permission to expand manufacturing. Neither do the people of Ekiti need permission to strengthen education. Every region possesses intelligence, talent, and hardworking people capable of solving problems. The greatest resource of every region is not oil, it is not gas, it is not gold, it is its people. There is another truth that deserves to be spoken plainly. The Yoruba should not be waiting for the Igbo before advancing Yoruba civilization. The Igbo should not be waiting for the Hausa before advancing Igbo civilization. Nor should any ethnic group believe that its future depends upon another ethnic group moving first. Every people has a responsibility to advance its own civilization. That responsibility cannot be delegated. The Yoruba possess centuries of scholarship, commerce, urban development, and entrepreneurship. They should continue building upon those strengths. The Igbo have demonstrated extraordinary enterprise, manufacturing, innovation, and trade. They should continue expanding those achievements. The Hausa, together with the wider peoples of northern Nigeria, possess rich traditions in agriculture, commerce, scholarship, craftsmanship, and leadership. They should continue modernizing those foundations. Civilization is not a race against one another. It is a commitment to become better than we were yesterday. The highest calling of every ethnic group is to educate its children and advance its own people, its own civilization. If a people refuse to educate themselves until someone else does, if they refuse to industrialize until someone else moves first, if they refuse to innovate because another region has not yet done so, they gradually surrender confidence in their own ability. That is not autonomy, that is dependence. History consistently rewards societies that cultivate initiative, responsibility, and local leadership rather than passive reliance on distant authority. Imagine the Yoruba in southwestern Nigeria, the Igbo in eastern Nigeria, and the Hausa in northern Nigeria establishing 20-year development goals. The best schools in Africa, the strongest STEM education, the safest communities, the cleanest cities, the fastest internet, the largest manufacturing base, the greatest agricultural productivity, the highest research spending, the largest number of patents, the healthiest population. Imagine universities competing to become global research institutions. Imagine communities celebrating engineers, scientists, teachers, inventors, entrepreneurs, as much as politicians. That is how civilizations rise. Development is ultimately a cultural decision. It begins when ordinary people reject excuses, when communities organize, when businesses invest, when universities innovate, when parents prioritize education, when young people acquire useful skills, when local leaders accept responsibility, when citizens hold those leaders accountable. Nigeria possesses extraordinary human potential. That potential exists in every state, every ethnic group, every language, every religion. No people possess a monopoly on intelligence. No people possess a monopoly on patriotism. No people possess a monopoly on creativity. The future belongs to those who build, not to those who wait. The message is simple. Build your communities. Advance your civilization. When every region advances its civilization, Nigeria advances. When Nigeria advances, Africa advances. And when Africa advances, humanity advances. The learning objectives have been met. If you found this presentation informative and educational, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing and sharing with family members, friends, and colleagues. Your support helps us create more informative and educational content. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful. This has been a presentation of Apomelera Media LLC.